Hello everyone. The story I'm going to share today is The Old Man and the Scholar. This story took place during the Qing Dynasty. Every time a scholar passed by the market, he would buy a few pancakes from an old man who sold them there. One day, when he stopped to buy pancakes, the old man asked the scholar to sit down. He said, "I can see that you're a good person. I may need help tonight." When the scholar asked what he needed, the old man said, "Just come back here tonight and you will know." The scholar thought that if he returned home very late, his mother would worry about him, so he refused. The old man sighed and said, "It's not time yet." The next day, when the scholar passed the old man's house, he saw a crowd gathered there. When he asked what happened, he was told that the old man had died. He felt very sad, and he returned home to tell his mother. He also told her what the old man asked. His mother felt strange and thought that her son was lucky not to listen to him. 10 years later, the scholar passed the imperial examination and started to teach at college. One day, he asked for leave to return to his hometown. When he reached the river bank, he walked around before boarding the ship. He suddenly saw someone walking out of the forest, and the man called him. "How have you been?" When the scholar looked closely, he realized that the person was the old man who sold the pancakes. He was surprised and said, "I thought you were dead. Why are you here?" The old man asked him to sit down. He smiled and said, "You may think that I'm a ghost, but please don't be afraid. I will explain. I asked you to help me that night because I could see that you are different from other people. I mean that you can become immortal, but you had not yet finished everyday person things you were supposed to do. I had been trying to become immortal. I also knew there was a chance to meet celestial beings that night. I tried to make an appointment with you, but you refused. That evening, I lay in bed, but I could not fall asleep. I could hear several people talking outside, so I got up and looked out of my window. I saw many celestial beings cleaning the street. They were telling each other, 'The true Taoists will come to Yue Temple. We have to wait here.' I thought my chance to become immortal had come, so I immediately walked outside. I began walking down a winding road, which turned several times. Eventually, I arrived at the Yue Temple. I saw the temple was empty, but a skinny beggar dressed in filthy rags was sleeping soundly on the steps. As soon as I saw him, I knew that he was a true Taoist. I knelt at his side and waited for a long time. When he woke up, he asked me why I was there. I kowtowed to him and called him Taoist. The Taoist got very angry and cursed me. My heart was now moved, and I still respected him. He got up and cursed me even more severely, but I didn't leave. Then he stopped cursing and walked away. But instead of walking, he floated away very quickly. I hurriedly ran after him. It was very strange that no matter how fast I ran, I did not feel tired at all. In a blink of an eye, we entered a mountain. The Taoist climbed along the wild vines, very agile like a monkey. I was not scared at all and only wished to follow him and become immortal. When we climbed up to the top of the mountain, there was only a single log bridge which led to another mountain. Below us stretched an endless valley. The Taoist turned his head and said, "I know you are sincere, but now it's too dangerous for you. You may stop here." I answered, "No matter where you go, heaven or earth, I would follow." "How can I stop here?" The Taoist became angry and cursed me again. He used his full strength to push me away, and I dropped down into the deep valley. I called out and flew up to the top of a mountain on the other side. When I turned back and looked down into the valley, I saw my human body lying below in the stream. At that moment, I knew my body had been turned into an immortal body. When I turned my head back, the ghost had disappeared. In a flash, I saw all my human lives, and feelings were hard to describe. Then it was daybreak. I remember that mountain was called Yellow Mountain. From then on, my body was very light. I could fly. I was allowed to meet you today. After the old man finished telling his story, the scholar knew that he was immortal, and he offered to help him. The old man said, "It's not time yet. You will be promoted to a very high position in the human world. But remember not to be aggressive. Please remember what I've told you." After the old man finished talking, he jumped into a river. But instead of entering the water, he walked on the top of it as though he were walking on the ground. He quickly disappeared. As a scholar looked down into quiet, flowing water, he felt very unsettled. The meeting with the old man and his words echoed in his thought for many days. From this story, we see that the old man was allowed to become immortal because he was very determined and only had a heart to follow his master no matter what happened. No matter how bad the true Taoist cursed him, his heart was not moved, and he still respected him. No matter how great the danger, he still followed him. That's why he became immortal. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.